foundation of who you are as a program is really built on your offensive line, not just on the field but off the field, how they carry themselves, what they do, how they act. And, when I took over the offensive line at Michigan, the first thing I said is, like, if we want to win a championship, that room has to run the team. And, Coach fully believed in that, embraced that, and that's, all his coaching career. You can go back to Stanford, San Diego, the Niners. Even when he was playing, he's talked about that. Like, the O-line has to be a huge part of what you do. And if you want to win, that group's got to be strong.
What's going on, Bull family? Are we feeling a little better today? Now, I got to work later, so I wanted to make this video now. Waking up in the morning, I was scrolling through Instagram and Twitter, and it looks like a lot of people calmed down. They kind of understood why we made this draft choice, why this is a good pick. It is a foundational piece to be able to build the rest of the house. And there was still people that weren't buying into it, and that's okay. You are allowed to feel the way you do. But there were people that are just ultra aggressive right now. And I was arguing with people over IG and Twitter in the morning. And it's funny, everyone brings up the same argument. Like, I don't understand how this is such a hard concept to grasp. Look, and everyone brings up the whole Bengals, Jamar Chase situation, the Eagles, Jalen Hurts and Devontae Smith. But you need to understand something. They were on rookie contracts. That's why they were able to do what they did. Once they have to pay those guys, which all of them are going to have to do right now, they're not going to be able to build a team good enough to compete in Super Bowls. They would basically have to hope that no one gets injured because they're not going to be able to afford depth, a good offensive line, good defense. Like, 2 guys are going to take a third of your salary cap, and then you still have 51 other guys you got to pay. You put yourself in a bad spot. Now, as much as everyone wants to bring up the argument that Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow went to the Super Bowl, let me just say this. They did lose, but why did they lose? I had a comment on a video I made yesterday that made complete sense, and I didn't even think about it. They lost, but why did they lose? Joe Burrow got sacked on a crucial 4th down. Let's look back at even us, right? Other comments that I was seeing that was defending the pick. We consistently got into 3rd and 1, 4th and short situations, and we had to force Herbert to throw the ball because we didn't trust our running backs or offensive line to get enough push to get that yard. We're correcting that right now. Also, let's look at the situations in which we lost close games. When Herbert had an opportunity to have a game-winning drive, what ended up happening? Miscommunication on the offensive line, and Herbert got sacked. He didn't even get the opportunity to try to get a first down or 2. The play ended so quick because the offensive line could not protect. They could not pick up the blitz. Things we're fixing right now. The other thing that I keep seeing, and people are disrespecting Joshua Palmer, man. Joshua Palmer has had to step up to be wide receiver 1 multiple times with us because Mike Williams and Keenan Allen were hurt. And in those times that Joshua Palmer had to go out and be wide receiver 1, he had a few games over 100 yards, and he was consistent. Now, again, I don't think he's a wide receiver 1, but some people are saying he's not a wide receiver 3. I think he could be a good wide receiver 2. He's got that potential in him. Now, he's not a burner. He's not going to create a ton of space. He's similar to Keenan in the way where he's a route runner. Now, not at Keenan's level, but Joshua Palmer is a good receiver. We've seen it happen. He's come in and he has played well for us. QJ is too early to give up on him. We need to relax on the QJ hate. Okay? Give this kid another year under a good coaching regime, and let's see how he handles it this year. He looks like he wants to be better, and I'm hoping I can bank on that because he is showing up to all the camps and the training, and I love seeing the videos of him running routes. He looks good. Now, again, will that translate? I don't know, but let's give this kid another year and see how he performs. So, look, I can't keep defending this forever. Like I said, I just don't believe wide receivers win Super Bowls. Regardless of what happens on whether it's Joe Alt that goes to the right tackle or Rashawn Slater, because I'm hearing multiple different things. Pipkins might somehow be in the starting lineup. I don't know. But I wanted to make this video more because I want people to be prepared. Because I know people are still saying, well, we have to get a wide receiver in the second. We don't. We really don't. I am actually, if you want to call me crazy, that's fine. I would like Jackson Powers at 2. Or Cooper. I'm okay with either or. But here's the thing. We have a lot of holes on this roster. There's a good chance we won't be able to fill the gaps for all those positions in the draft. And for all the players that we draft later, they might not be hits. They might not be starter quality players. So if there is a position group that you can make the best or the most elite on your roster and the NFL, why not do that? At least this way you understand that you have one position group that's better than the rest, instead of having a bunch of mid players and a bunch of positions where you're still going to have to maybe draft another player there eventually, trade for another player, or sign for another player. Might as well get guys that you know are going to be starters for the next decade plus. So if we get Jackson Powers and we have another Pro Bowl quality center with 2 Pro Bowl quality tackles, and Johnson being a first-round draft pick that still has potential, and you still have Sawyer and Pipkins, not only will we have probably a top 3 offensive line for a decade to protect Herbert, but we have some depth. Because we don't have to trade Pipkins if he doesn't end up being a starter. We have depth. The offensive line will get banged up. This gives you an opportunity to rotate guys in and out. Keep them healthy. You still got Bozeman out there. Like, you can have a good rotation of line. Keep them healthy, fresh, and keep Herbert upright. I'm tired of seeing him hurt, man. I want to see Herbert finish the year healthy. And I do believe that with time, he'll make plays. He'll make the guys better around him. I also hear, like our wide receivers are not going to get separation. I don't think any of y'all have really played football, man. Do you understand the athleticism gap that you would need in order for a wide receiver not to get open with enough time? Dude, it's super hard to play corner because you have no idea where those wide receivers are going. Like, if you give any receiver in the NFL enough time, it doesn't matter what corner you have on them, they're going to get open. That's what offensive linemen can do. It gives people more time to get open. And they will. Like, it's super hard to cover someone so long when you don't know where they're going to go. Look, so that's kind of where I'm at. I'm also thinking back, like, at the Niners. And I think about, Michael Crabtree being on that team, being one of their, like, top receivers. We can do this. We can be competitive this year, but understand this is part of the process, and that the next year's draft, we can focus on receivers, running backs, and everything else we need. Right now, let's build the offensive and defensive line. If we can get, this is why, like, for me, it's like, all right, I want the center so we can just have the best offensive line in the league. Herbert will be protected. We'll have the most dominant run game. But if we can then start, like, I would like sweat, man, on that defensive line. If they can fill the gaps, and then you have Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack and Tui free, we're going to be disgusting. Because now we don't need top tier corners, although it'd be nice. But now those guys are not going to have to cover as long because our edge rushers, our D line is going to be attacking. So let's just, I don't know, man. I just be prepared. I think today there's still a chance we don't take a wide receiver today. We might not take one until the 4th, 5th round. And that's okay. Let's look at where St. Brown got drafted. He was a late round draft pick, man. Tyreek Hill was a late round draft pick. Last year's Rookie of the Year, Puka Nakua, was drafted in the 5th round. We're okay, Bolt fam. We're good. Let's let a proven winner show us what it takes to be a winner. Because as Charger fans, you know what? We don't know what that is. We are the only team in our division that does not have a damn Super Bowl. And I'm tired of having that donut up there. Everyone in our division has at least 3. That's crazy that we don't have one with all the talent we've had. And most of that talent was always skill players. So maybe this is the change that we needed. Jim Harbaugh has not been unsuccessful anywhere he's been. So let's allow him to do what he does. Anyways, I know I kind of made a video about this yesterday, but I just wanted to kind of put you guys in a situation where this could be another offensive and defensive line, draft pick the next 2 rounds. And I still keep seeing people like, talking about a wide receiver in the next round. Let's get those guys later. I think it's easier to pick up a wide receiver later in the draft, or you sometimes get guys that are undrafted that all of a sudden just explode. We can be patient. Those guys are harder to find than offensive line. Offensive line, I feel like you have to draft early because you rarely hear of undrafted offensive linemen or like breakout offensive linemen that were signed off free agency. I think those guys you have to get in the draft because you don't really get them anywhere else. So wide receivers will come. We will be able to find guys that are good enough to play the position. So anyways, all right, Bull fam, I'm out. I'm going to get ready to stream a little bit. I'm going to get ready to watch the rest of the draft before work. It's going to be a good year. I'm feeling optimistic. Trust the process and bolt up. Peace.